Shalom. Kohalo Yahweh Shem Abishai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedoms to do so. To the hopeful elect, to the Yakwaf, the confusion of face joined unto our ranks, my fellow yoke mates, whether they be in the great millstone or not. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is inspired off a couple comments and conversations with two different Ishmaelite women. Let me close this door, Salakia. And both students and former students, and just in conversations about what's going on in the world. One has a straight up disdain for Esau, and the other still has a semi-love affair, a love-hate relationship with Esau. As a matter of fact, she's even married to an Edomite. And I remember years ago, before they got married, she told me I should probably get away from this Edomite because, you know, and she called him that. And I told her, yeah, you know, and I said, yeah, you should, you know, and now I think she's beginning to realize you know, that she screwed up, because I remember one conversation we had where she said, I hate it when you're always right, because we'll talk about something, she'll go research and do her own research, and then she comes to the conclusion, damn, you were right again. I hate it when you're always right about this shit, because she wants the world to be you know, lollipops and gumdrops, and it's not. You know, people are just not going to get along. Yeah, I mean, when you go to Genesis, you know, matter of fact, let's get that real quick, and then we'll play some of these different clips. And this one from the Real News Network first. But let's go to Genesis. The two main characters in the Bible is the nation of Edom and the nation of Jacob. All right. So so let's get their beginnings. All right. It says, and this is Genesis 25:19. The point is in 23. But it says, and these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. All right? Proving that your nationality is through your father, not your mother. All right? That kills the Jewish fable of the mother. That's a lie. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. So basically what she was doing was trying to figure out, if this is such a blessed pregnancy, why is it so rough? Right? And Yahweh answered her. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb. So two different races of people. Right? And the two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So when you look at it, it's obvious who the stronger are between Jacob and Esau. All you have to do is just look at professional combat sports, not sports where the machine does all the work, like auto racing. You know, we're talking about combat sports, you know, physical sports, football, basketball, baseball, soccer. The sons of Jacob dominating all those sports, you know, boxing, kickboxing, MMA, wrestling, you know, whatever art, whatever sport Jacob gets into, they dominate. Okay? But the point being, it says, the two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated. So they're enemies, because he tells you later on that he plans to kill Jacob. And Esau's been killing Jacob ever since. All right? There's a hatred between Esau and Jacob that cannot be disannulled, and which is going to fester into a nationwide, perhaps even a worldwide race riots. Because when they kick off here in America, they're probably going to kick off in South America and Europe and different places, in Canada and different places around the world, where Jacob and Esau are dwelling together.
Welcome to the Real News Network. I'm Mark Steiner. Great to have you all with us. We just experienced a terrorist attack in El Paso with at least 22 people murdered. And now it's being reported that the killer in Dayton might have been incensed that his sister was dating a black man and killed the next 5 black people he saw after he killed his sister. I think back to 1995. Timothy McVeigh, who committed the largest mass murder since Pearl Harbor, Ruby Ridge, Waco, and of course Charlottesville, the Confederate and Nazi flags flying together, and the murder that took place there. And now the killings in El Paso and Dayton. These are not mere isolated incidents, but part of a right-wing identity movement. In this modern era, born of the Vietnam War, whose roots go back to the end of the Civil War and the birth of the Klan and the end of Reconstruction. What we are facing is the potential.
You can see these things are deeply embedded in the government, because Klansmen are your policemen, your firemen, your doctors, your lawyers, your judges. In the military captains, generals, House of Representatives, congressmen, they're deeply your local, your sheriffs, they're deeply rooted. This is why they were allowed to do. Look, this organization killed more people than any other organization in America in American history, but yet not one of them ever went to jail for it. Not one. Why is that?
Potential of mass violence and the growth of an armed right-wing movement in this country. Am I being hyperbolic, alarmist? Well, let's see what our guests think. We're joined.
All right, so you have to ask yourself, was Don Lemon lying when he said that the biggest threat in America, to America, was the Edomite male, the pale male? No, he was not. Congresswoman, Representative Omar said something similar. Was she lying when she said it? No, she was not. But it's also prophesied that this would happen. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 19. And it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and the great tribulation. All right, because what's happening, look, America's failing. The lack of food is coming. Your grains, your crops have been destroyed. Your dollar's crashing. This trade war is turning the world upside down. And it's going to get not only violent abroad between the great nations, but it's going to get violent in the nations where the people live, where these nations are getting to it. Look at all the riots that are taking place in the Great Sedition in Hong Kong. All right? Soon to touch down in America. Your sedition all over the world. Those bloody riots in Paris have not ceased, man, to the point to where police officers are dying and committing suicide from being under stress. From the protesters finding out who they are, you know, when they're unmasked and things of that nature, and attacking them when they're off duty and that whole sort of thing, man. Okay, that sedition has begun. Okay, let's take a look at something else.
A series of crimes in the US, linked by many there to right-wing politics, are becoming the baseline topic in news coverage stateside.
And you can say what you want to say, but the verbiage that has been being used by the president, it's clear that it sparked a lot of this, right? Because the incidents of Edomite violence upon Jake increased tremendously when Donald Trump came into office, man. Right? Spewing that hatred toward the brown people on the border. Basically, just saying without saying, shoot them down at the border. Is basically what he was saying in so many words. This is and look what just happened with that Edomite at the Walmart. But this is 2nd Ezra 15, who actually got taken alive, by the way, before I read the scripture. And I saw another image of a Jake getting choked out and roughed up by a couple Edomite centurions for selling water without a license, without a permit. But yet this man who just murdered 19 people and wounded another 20-something people gets taken peacefully alive without a scratch on him. 2 Ezra 15 and 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, those are your race riots that are prophesied to come, and your sedition, your civil wars as well. And Esau so worried about Jacob, Esau gonna be killing Esau. That's the Egyptian versus the Egyptian. These Edomites are gonna be killing each other when they try to send these stormtroopers to take the guns away from these good old boys, like we saw in the previous video. They're gonna get met with hostile. What did Charleston Hanson say? Out of his cold, dead hand. These Edomites ain't playing. They'll give up their daughters and their wives before they give up their guns, because they kind of giving up their daughters and their wives anyway. They really don't have no choice in that matter. So that's why they're gonna cling on to their guns. Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
And with just days to go until America's polarized public make their choice in the midterm elections, the rhetoric is getting fiery. One CNN host is clear as to who he thinks poses the real terror threat.
We have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
And that's just the truth. They got all bent out of shape and angry, but it's just a hardcore, brutal truth. Point blank, period. Always has been. All right, if they reported it in the news fairly, all right, the statistics, FBI statistics, 71% of cops that get shot on duty are shot by white males. But yet the news, the daily news, does not reflect that amount of crimes when you're watching it. Especially when you watch like Fox, Fox being the main one. All day long, all they run is brown faces on you know, by the light brown or dark brown, you know, it's ran across their programming hourly. But yet pale males like the one on the left there, when they commit horrific crimes, they'll make sure that they run another story with a brown face like the one on the right. This is what they do. And anyone who disagrees is not that they're just completely, that's their cognitive dissonance. That's simply what it is. All right, this is 2 Ezra 6 and 24. And it reads, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear, and those that dwell therein, the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and the 3 hours they shall not run. It's going to be no water, man. That running water is going to get cut off, and people are going to be killing each other for a drink of water, for a loaf of bread. And like the little Ishmaelite chick said, the one who's married to the Edomite, she says she can see that those racial fires are being kindled. She can see it now. And the other one, she said that, you know, she's been facing racism all her life, because she grew up thinking she was a Hamite. And, you know, and after talking to me, you know, she went and did some research and realized that her father was an Ishmaelite. She knows she's Ishmael now. You know, because she was calling herself Somali, because she grew up Somali and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But come to find out that her father's forefathers were Ishmael and not Ham. And so she realizes that she's an Ishmaelite. And that's another thing. The nations are becoming educated as to who they are, mainly because of the men of the great millstone. All right? You can't reverse what's happening, what's about to happen. All right? So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bashem Abishai, Wa Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharallah.